Let me tell you, Meghan Markle has been at the center of endless drama for years, but what's coming out now? Oh, this is a whole different level of messy. Forget the usual PR stunts, the canceled contracts, or the Hollywood whispers. This time, the bombshell is way too personal. Her own father, Thomas Markle, has finally stepped out of the shadows, and the things he's saying, they don't just bruise Meghan's image. They slice right into the empire she spent years carefully polishing. And yes, this one's about her real age. Now, when gossip comes from your neighbors or anonymous insiders, it's one thing. But when it comes from the man who literally raised you, that hits differently. It's not just scandal, it's betrayal. Thomas is no longer staying quiet, and the way he's talking has tabloids salivating, Meghan's PR team running in circles, and fans clutching their pearls. His claim that Meghan hasn't exactly been honest about her age, and the numbers we've all been fed don't exactly match up. At first, you might think, okay, age, so what? But let's be real. For Meghan, age isn't just a number, it's a brand. Her whole public identity has leaned on being the fresh, vibrant outsider, the modern woman who swept into the royal family with this burst of youthful energy, that timeless beauty, that relatable Hollywood vibe. It all hinges on her being younger than she really might be. If Thomas is right, and if Meghan's been shaving years off her timeline, then her whole image, it's not just shaky, it's on the verge of collapse. And here's the tea. Thomas says this isn't new. According to him, Meghan has been trimming years off her age for as long as he can remember. He's talking about family memories that don't line up with her official story. He even remembers moments where Meghan snapped at him. Yes, her own dad, just because he casually mentioned her real age in front of people. Imagine being so guarded about a birthday that even your family has to tiptoe around it. That's not vanity, honey. That's calculation. And it gets even juicier. Thomas claims he's got proof. We're talking about photographs, birth certificates, school records, the kind of paperwork that doesn't lie. In his own words, those papers are proof, receipts of a reality Meghan would rather erase. He's basically saying Meghan has been rewriting her life story to suit Hollywood and later to suit royal life. Now let's not forget, Hollywood is absolutely ruthless when it comes to age. Casting directors look at the year before they look at the talent. If you're 22, you're fresh-faced, perfect for the big roles. If you're sliding into your 30s, suddenly you're someone's mom or quirky sidekick. And Thomas insists Meghan figured this out early. At auditions, she'd conveniently lop off a few years. In interviews, she'd spin the story of being a late bloomer hustling in her 20s. Even if the math didn't really add up, that might have stayed a harmless Hollywood trick until she met Prince Harry. Suddenly, Meghan's life collided with the most scrutinized institution on earth, the royal family. And when you marry into royalty, every single detail of your life gets picked apart. Birth certificates, timelines, backgrounds, nothing escapes. Meghan came into the palace as this fresh mid-30s starlet ready to shake up tradition. But if Thomas is right, if she was actually older than we were told, that's not just a fib. That's rewriting the fairy tale itself. And the reaction, absolute chaos. Reporters are dragging out yearbooks, digging up old photos, piecing together timelines. Social media sleuths are running wild, comparing Meghan's interviews over the years, pointing out how her own words don't always match up. There are even hashtags trending, mocking her supposed Forever 39 vibe. And the harder Meghan's team pushes back, the louder the internet laughs. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, oh honey, it's meltdown mode. Insiders say Meghan's pacing around Montecito, shouting at staff, slamming phones, and demanding her PR people fix this nightmare. But here's the truth. When your entire career depends on people believing in your brand, even something as small as a birthday can turn into a full-on disaster once it spins out of your control. And Meghan knows this is spiraling. Thomas Markle isn't holding back anymore, and let me tell you, it's shaking Meghan's empire to its core. For years, he was painted as the problem parent. Remember? He wasn't invited to the royal wedding, he got cast aside in interviews, he was framed as the villain while Meghan played the victim. But now he's flipping the script. He's tired of the silence, tired of being demonized while his daughter cashed in on her version of events. And this time, he's speaking with receipts. He's describing how he quietly carried boxes filled with Meghan's past, photographs, school documents, birth certificates, the kind of stuff you just can't argue with. And he claims all of it tells a different story than the carefully curated timeline Meghan polished for the cameras. That alone is enough to have reporters drooling and Meghan's team pulling all-nighters. And here's the kicker. Thomas even claims the palace knew. When Meghan married Harry, the royals had their own people dig into her background. According to Thomas, they discovered plenty, including the truth about her real age. But instead of exposing her, they stayed silent. Why? Because the last thing the palace wanted was another storm overshadowing the wedding. So, in his eyes, their silence handed Meghan the freedom to keep shaping her life story into whatever version suited her ambitions. This revelation, it's not just gossip anymore, it's an earthquake. Hollywood executives, who once treated Meghan as untouchable, are now second-guessing everything. If her brand was built on shaky details like this, how stable are the projects attached to her name? When you're in Hollywood, authenticity isn't about morality, it's about market value. Nobody wants to pour millions into a star who might crumble under scrutiny. And now, Meghan's brand looks like it's cracking at the seams. But the irony cuts deeper than anything. For years, Meghan has sold herself as the face of authenticity. She's told the world, "I speak my truth. I live authentically." She painted herself as the brave outsider willing to speak up when others stayed quiet. Yet here comes her own father saying even something as basic as her birthday has been rewritten. To critics, it's not just hypocrisy, it's proof. Proof that her truth has always been strategy, not reality. And you know who doesn't have to say a word? The royals. Buckingham Palace isn't issuing statements, they aren't running to cameras, they don't need to. Their silence is the sharpest weapon. They live by the motto, never complain, never explain. And this time, that's working in their favor. Every time Meghan's age becomes a headline, every viral TikTok comparing her old photos with new claims, the royal family looks steady and dignified, while Meghan looks desperate. It's devastating PR optics, and she knows it. Meanwhile, Harry's caught in an impossible storm. Sources say he's furious, at Thomas for stirring the pot, at Meghan for putting them here, and at himself for getting dragged into yet another crisis. Remember, he's backed Meghan's version of events for years. He cut ties with his own family, trashed the monarchy in books and interviews, all to support her. But now, people are asking the one question he can't escape. If Meghan lied about something as basic as her age, did Harry know? Was he in on it? Or was he fooled too? Neither answer makes him look good. He either comes across as complicit or clueless, and both are humiliating for a prince. Because let's be real, the public loves a scandal, but what they love even more is watching someone who preached authenticity get exposed for being less than truthful. And Meghan, who built her brand on those words, is now facing the most humiliating plot twist of all. The truth is catching up, and the whispers inside the industry, they're even harsher. Casting directors recall Meghan dodging conversations about age, always keeping things vague or deflecting when someone pressed too hard. Former colleagues are piping up with stories, claiming she often presented herself as younger at auditions. Sure, that trick is common in Hollywood, but it's a whole other story when you step into royal life. Once you're in the palace, everything gets magnified. Every detail becomes part of history. And those old Hollywood habits? They don't just vanish. Even agents, who usually protect their clients, are whispering behind the scenes. They say Meghan's obsession with youth wasn't just noticeable, it was extreme. For them, Thomas's claims don't feel shocking at all. They feel like confirmation. The kind of confirmation that makes you pause and say, wow, maybe we should have seen this coming. Now let's contrast that chaos with Buckingham Palace. The royals don't have to lift a finger. They don't need to comment or defend themselves. They're out there attending public events, smiling, keeping steady. King Charles is making appearances. Queen Camilla is calmly at his side. William and Kate look polished and composed. Every photo of them gliding through events with grace makes Meghan look even smaller, even messier. It's like two different worlds. One rooted in centuries of stability, the other collapsing under the weight of its own spin. And inside Montecito, panic has turned into desperation. Crisis managers are brainstorming every possible angle. Should they dismiss Thomas as bitter? Should they reframe the age scandal as irrelevant? But here's the problem. Meghan herself made her age part of the brand. She leaned into youth, leaned into being the relatable Hollywood hustler who carved her path in her 30s. She turned a number into a selling point. And now that number is under the microscope. Every pushback, every denial, every statement only shines a bigger light on the fact that she's terrified of being exposed. Harry's position, meanwhile, is getting uglier by the day. Critics are merciless. They're pointing out how he cut ties with his family, trashed the monarchy in interviews, and went all in defending Meghan's narrative. And now, those same critics are asking whether he's complicit in this deception. Did he know the truth all along? Was he just playing along? Or worse, was he duped too? Either way, it doesn't look good. To many, he no longer looks like a loyal husband. He looks like a man trapped in someone else's performance. And Meghan's allies? Silent. Painfully silent. Jessica Mulroney, who once would have leapt to her defense, isn't saying a word. Samantha Markle, on the other hand, is gloating loudly, reminding everyone that she's been calling Meghan manipulative for years. With Thomas now echoing Samantha's warnings, her words suddenly sound prophetic, and for Meghan, that's salt in the wound. The financial fallout is creeping in too. Endorsements rely on trust, partnerships rely on credibility. Brands don't want to invest in someone who's becoming a punchline. Streaming platforms don't want their multi-million-dollar projects overshadowed by headlines about birthdays and lies. Even Meghan's lifestyle ventures, her jam, her wine, her brand-building attempts, they can't survive if buyers see the woman behind them as fake. The trust is gone, and without it, so is the money. And Thomas Markle? Oh, he looks like a man finally liberated. For years, Meghan's lawyers tried to silence him. Her PR tried to paint him as bitter, vindictive. But now, he's out here positioning himself as the truth teller. He's not scared anymore. He's enjoying the attention. He knows Meghan can't rewrite their shared history. And the world is finally listening to him. And here's the real sting. This isn't just about numbers on a birth certificate. This scandal cuts deeper. It makes people question everything else about Meghan. If she could bend the truth about something as basic as her age, what else has she rewritten? What other stories don't add up? In an era where authenticity is priceless, even one small lie can topple an empire. And that's where Meghan stands now, caught between silence and spin with no good options left. The woman who declared she was living authentically is now accused of living a performance. And this time, the audience isn't clapping, they're laughing, they're mocking, they're waiting for the next shoe to drop.